The parking spots already start to change already. It's like you pick your bet which way you think you're gonna go. No, I'm not gonna tell you I yawning, but I was yawning. Danger. Um, at my favorite spot. Seems like I'm just sitting on the side of the highway, and I, and I also, and I. I'm trying to be alert. Feel me? Got, I got a few. Let me see how many minutes I got with y'all niggas. You can see already. I have 15 minutes with you guys. I always say that, right? Got 15. What you want to talk about? What you want to talk about? So many things we could talk about. Oh yeah, I was watching. I watched the lady on TED. On a TED talk about. Hold on, let me put the thing in there. Today there's no wind. It's kind of like. It's up. Oh, I spoke too soon. This nigga, right? As soon as you speak to the wind, it answered you. Hold up. Yes, I watched the lady on the TED talk, and boy was I wrong. I was I was expecting something else, but she totally agreed with everything I said, and she even spoke it in a better language called English. I'm not saying I can't speak English, but she did it. She did a great job. So we're gonna give her some praise. Yeah, she did a great job. A great jobby. If I can pronounce her name. Her name is Sarah Kupnik. Don't judge me. Can't read her name. I can't read regular English. Imagine trying to pronounce some wild last name. But her name is Sarah on TED Talk. It came on today, and she was talking about did alien build the pyramid? And she basically incited the same things, my concerns and everything else, and what I've been saying about all these TV shows that claim that pose that kind of question. And I've always said that kind of question is racist talk. It has to be racist talk. And she said the same thing I was thinking. Basically, they don't pose the same question for Europeans when they don't say that about monuments that the European builds. But when it comes to African culture, African monuments and things like the Great Pyramids that was left behind, they always got to imply that it has to be some out of this world that came into place and built it. Hmm. I guess sometimes we like to believe in aliens. I can't even lie. Anyway, but the truth of the matter is, man, I tell you this, man. I mean, I know I'm going off then. I'm gonna get back to that. Look, so basically, that's what she was saying. So I wanted to praise her. I wanted to praise her and tell her, like, you feel me? She did the right thing. Because it is racist for people to speaking about, to talk about Africans being helped by other people. How come you can't just accept the fact that the Africans were smart enough to build that? You feel me? They're looking at the modern day African, which white supremacists has put under great stress, oppression, and still being oppressed to this day all around the world, and try to judge that. They try to judge their modern view to the past African. When Africa in the past was so wealthy, there was disrupting other people's currency. You feel me? You heard about the Mansa Musa and how he calm down, bro. You ain't gotta hear me talk, man. Anyway, Mansa Musa trip to Egypt and kind of like he was just giving out nuggets of gold to everybody who he came across. Feel me? He still, up to this day, is the richest man on earth. Up to this day, no man can ever surpass that man himself. You feel me? So all this alien talk, I don't know. Let's get into it. You feel me? Look, man, you have to understand something. I'm not saying there's not aliens. God spoke about otherworldly beings that came to earth. The way it was described, the way angels are described in the Bible, that's how you see an alien. You feel me? It would be like, okay, that's some alien shit right there. Like, God sent some aliens, some angels to come to Mary and da da da. But if you was to apply it to the scripture, right, it means that if they want you to see them, they will reveal themselves to you. You have to have the sight to see them, which means not everybody can see them. You feel me? When people say they see things in the air and everything else like that, I want them to rethink it. Word up, just you have to rethink it. You have to like, what can this be? Don't just jump into alien crap. That's somebody else's idea. Your mind has been compromised. You feel me? It could be a craft. It could be UFO. UFO is unidentified flying object. Those are what the initial stands for. So it could be an unidentified flying object that you never seen before, and um you cannot attach it to any form of identification that you know of in your vocabulary or in your picture of seeing. So you might say, "Oh, that's an alien." If I see a bird flying awkwardly, I'll say that's an alien creature because I couldn't identify it with a bird. I couldn't identify it with any form of animal. So I'd be like, that gotta be alien. You, in order for you to see an alien or see an angel in any form or shape, you have to be God have to give you the divine power of sight to see it, or your senses has to be enhanced for you to see these things. So people who said they seen alien, they was adopted and everything else, they probably did, or they probably was just confused, and that's the best way they can describe such thing was to attach it to something that they already knew, where it made it easier for them to identify what they've experienced. You feel me? But I'm not saying I don't believe in alien. I'm just saying that I'm not blessed enough to have seen one. You feel me? I ain't get to that point where God blessed me and God wanted me to see something, so He sent His angels to me and blessed me to see them. You feel me? Not everybody got to see God's angel, whether it was Michael or Gabriel. You feel me? We didn't get. Not everybody in the Bible was only special kind of people got to see these people. You have to be in a line with God to see these things. You feel me? We're not denying this. Not aliens is what aliens is what science call it alien. Religious people call it angels. You feel me? Spiritual people, what do we call it? We can just call it spirit, I guess. It is a spirit, but it's an angel spirit. You name it. It is what it is. But we all describing the same thing. You feel me? It's alien to you, extraterrestrial. Here, nothing extra but terrestrial. It is a terrestrial in itself. We are the extraterrestrial. If you look at the definition of what it means. But anyway, look, man. In order for you to see or hear or even have communication or conversation with an alien, you have to be blessed enough. Like they will have to, even God Himself, when He appeared to who's this? Was it Abraham or one of the characters in the Bible? It was, God just didn't appear to people because it was. Unless you the devil and the devil came in the form of an alien, yeah, that's also possible. You feel me? There are demons out there. Look, man, let me tell you this, man. What I'm saying is so true. A demon can only possess a body that is doing wrong, or that has been possessed. It can only possess a body that is capable of possessing. Plain and simple. Just like any form of disease, a disease can only enter your body if you live in that lifestyle. You have to have an open window for you to invite it in. That's, you feel me? Anything, whether it's spirituality in a good way or demon in a bad way, you have to invite it. A lifestyle has to be invited into. You have to have an open door. You have to be nonchalant, lackadaisy for these things to come through. So that's why I know what I'm saying is true. And that's the same thing with good spirit or good. When it comes to angels, an angel can only you can only see and speak to an angel in any form or shape if you allow it to come in. And imagine that many angels coming in to build a pyramid. You trying to tell me that we were so holy that we had, mind you, it's an angel. Now you can't take that back because you said angel. That we had the divine presence, that we made it comfortable enough for a good energy, a good spirit to come and build a whole structure. We don't even know how long that took to build a whole structure. You know how holy a person has, a holy a people have to be for the angel to want to come, or these extraterrestrials. If you see it from the point that I'm preaching, you feel me? You know how holier than thou you have to be as a group. It can't just be one individual, because if it was just one individual, guess what? You'd be separated from the rest of them, like the Noah's Ark. You feel me? God never mixes people. Even God wanted to, when you already know, he always separate. He don't be like, well, this one is good and this one is bad. If you good, he separates you. He's separate. God has always been the one who separates the good from the bad. You can't have a bad apple with the rest of the good apple. Because guess what? One bad apple can contaminate the rest of the other apple as long as it stays around for a long period, a certain amount of time. And this is just simple ABC talk. You feel me? I ain't even talking a language that you can't understand. This is simple as it gets. So you trying to tell me, although they're trying to degrade us by saying it's extraterrestrial, in the same breath, they acknowledging the greatness of what they're seeing. They're actually giving us credit and praising us through. Because if you was to take a look at how they saw it, and they said that extraterrestrial was to build these things, then in order for someone to see an extraterrestrial, like I have explained, they have to allow you to see them. You have to be blessed in a good way for you to see them. And if you a demon dwells in those who allow, they have to be of the lifestyle for you to invite them. It's like a magnet, opposite attract sometimes. So you are basically invite them in. It's something that draws to you. You can, and anything that draws to you is something that you have of interest in for it to be drawn to you. I cannot have any form of STD if I wasn't living the lifestyle of an STD. You feel me? I cannot be fat if I wasn't overindulging in eating food. And I can't get too skinny if I wasn't overindulging in wanting not to eat at all. How do you call that shit? A person who doesn't eat at all is called whatever. But the life that you choose, the things that comes to you is the life is the life that you choose, basically. So by them trying to exhort us, well, if it is certain that extraterrestrial or angels build these things, now I mean, like, like the churches in Ethiopia, or the Great Pyramid of Giza in Egypt, or the pyramids all across the world. One is in Peru. You got some in Sudan. By them saying that, that tells me, from my understanding, that these angels had to be drawn to these people. That these people was living by the law of the land. There was no adultery. There was no rape or anything else like that. And that's how these aliens were drawn to these people and build them something great like that. Regardless of how they put it, it's still a good thing from how you see it. You have to have a healthy perspective. not to be. You have to have a healthy perspective. Damn, solo is damn tight. Anyway, it's good. Fuck it. That's more. Um, you have to have a healthy perspective, not to be insulted by those who try to insult you. You can always see the good in things, even when they try to do you wrong. You feel me? And that's just my perspective, and I just wanted you guys to dive into it a little bit. And I know earlier today I was talking energy talk, and this kind of thought comes from an point of view. You have to educate yourself, man. You can't just do this shit just because you think you know one or two things. You got to keep it's continuously educating yourself, humbling yourself, knowing that you're a student and you forever be a student, even though you can be a student and you can teach others and still come back to the student thing. You feel me? But you will be constantly learning each and every time. You know what I mean? Every time you be constantly learning. I got 8 minutes, by the way. So you will be constantly learning every time. You can't get away from learning. If you truly want to know something, you have to continuously learn something. Plain and simple. So I commend Sarah for even knowing that's a wise thought for her. I've been saying it for a while now, like, yo, that alien talk, that's an insulting. You feel me? Just give these people the props. You feel me? These are people who have preserved knowledge. Preserved knowledge. There wasn't transfer knowledge. It wasn't degraded knowledge. It wasn't devalued knowledge. This knowledge was something that worked. They, they father passed it on down to them. That's why if they was honest about history and they was to track down these individual people who I think went to West Africa and dwell in West Africa, you will know that everywhere that they went across the world, they had the knowledge with them. You feel me? They had the knowledge with them. The knowledge was with them. It was something that was passed down on. You feel me? And every time it was taken down, every time they tried to take it away from them, eventually after a while, the knowledge comes right back down to them. Shout out to the stock market. It's doing bad right now. You feel me? So I think it is white supremacist for these shows like the History Channels when they have the alien invasion and everything else like that, or what is it called? Those alien documentaries. This is all part of white supremacist components and channels that they use to degrade the consistent competition against the past. You feel me? That's what is going on. They are consistently battling against ancient past. That's what they're doing. They constantly, how many times I have to say constantly, through every revenue, are constantly battling the past, and they just don't want to admit to it. Really, they just don't want to admit to it. They just cannot admit to it. They still having nightmares through their DNA about what they seen. You know there was a lot of hate when they came across those. There was a lot of hate when they came across those statues and started shooting the statue and destroying the statue because they didn't like what they was looking at. Yeah, they just didn't like what they was looking at. They just couldn't accept it. They couldn't accept it at all. I'm about to go in for 4 minutes. Get out of here. They just couldn't accept it. Although in a short period of time they've done great things, I give them that. But you cannot compare it to what the Asian past have done. And I know for a fact that history was destroyed during that time period because these group of individuals wanted to start history over and made mankind. They thought there was God, so they created mankind in their own image by their own thoughts. That's why they. That's why history is his story, because they wanted to do. They wanted to write their own story over. They didn't want to continue off the knowledge that was already there. We're talking about thousands and maybe millions of years of knowledge was all thrown away for selfish reasons. It wasn't like he was questioning the knowledge and try to go by, okay, this knowledge, this don't make sense. No, they decided to just destroy everything and start all over. And that's the reason why we are. That's why we're talking about global warming as if we're bigger than the earth itself. And when when you rise up all the way out the sky, you can't even see this human being that we call ourselves. Feel me? But yeah, that nigga's a stalker. Stalker ass nigga. I'm about to go in. I'm about to go in. I'm on my way in. I'm going in like I'm coming out. He said, I'm going in like I'm going out. No, how does I? He said, I'm going. He said, I'm going in like I'm going. No, fuck it. It's so simple. I still can't say it. I'm going in like I'm. It's so simple. I can't. When I remember, I might say, "There's no you going in like I'm going inside." Anyway, but that's my story. Feel me? Last words. Don't get discouraged. No weapon formed against you shall prosper. That's the last words. Feel me? I don't know what to call this video.